This video is sponsored by War Thunder. No, please no. Ghost Girl. Hazard level S+, she's invincible, she will insta-kill you, max spawn is 1, and she's most commonly found on Rend. Ghost Girl has 2 phases, Haunt and Chase. Ghost Girl uses quite a few calculations to choose her target, but it really just boils down to a point system. Every player will begin with 80 points. There are 4 ways players will gain more points. Anyone who hasn't been critically injured during this round will gain 10 points. Anyone carrying an item worth more than 150 will gain 30 points. Whoever has turned their camera the most will gain 30 points. And whoever has the highest insanity level will gain 50 points. If you don't know how insanity works, I've explained it in detail in my masterclass series, which I just posted last week. You can imagine each player has a slice on a wheel, and the more points they have, the bigger their slice. When the Ghost Girl spawns, she will essentially spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on will be her target. This means that whoever has the most points, which is usually the player with the highest insanity level, has a slightly higher chance of being targeted. As a side note, none of this matters in single player since you're the only player who can be targeted. Once the Ghost Girl targets a player, she will begin her haunt phase. You'll know the Ghost Girl is haunting you if you randomly hear muffled sounds or if the lights randomly flicker. In this phase, the Ghost Girl will appear on a node behind the target player every 20 seconds. When she does appear, you'll usually hear her laugh, and if you look at her, you'll hear muffled sounds and a grandfather clock. Indoors, the Ghost Girl will stay in the same spot for 15 seconds, heavily breathing. Outdoors, this timer will be 25 seconds. When her timer is up, she'll skip somewhere you cannot see her, then disappear. If she can't find anywhere where you cannot see her, she'll vanish right in front of you, which triggers the lights to flicker. As soon as she disappears, the breathing will stop, indicating that she's gone. Her timer will have a 1.25 times multiplier while you're looking at her and a 3 times multiplier when she doesn't have line of sight of you. Keep in mind, she will not be visible to anyone except the player she's haunting. Before I explain phase 2, I just want to give a huge thanks to everybody you're seeing on screen for help decompiling Ghost Girl. I also want to say a quick thank you to today's sponsor. In the last 2 War Thunder reviews, I played as an aircraft and a tank. During this review, I'll be trying Fleet. I booted up War Thunder, which is free on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and jumped right into the tutorial. I learned that I have 3 weapons, an automatic gun, torpedoes, and air bombs. After some practice, I looked through a ton of ships to use, bought a new one, and started a game. The first thing I noticed was the sound design. There were a lot of small, almost unnoticeable sounds that made it extremely immersive. I was also very impressed with how good the graphics looked, especially the small details in the water. Drifting around, dodging enemy shots and torpedoes was actually much more fun than I thought it was going to be. After a few games, I started to notice I was getting put into matches extremely fast. I realized it was because there were over 100,000 players online at the same time I was. The War Thunder community is huge, and when you decide to join it, make sure you use my personal link that I'll put in the description and pinned comment. If you use this link, you'll be given 100,000 silver lions, a week of premium accounts, as well as some premium vehicles. All of these amenities will help you make upgrades and buy way better vehicles so much faster, so if you've never played War Thunder or haven't played in 6 months, use my link ASAP, because if you wait too long, the link will not work. Now, let's get back to Ghost Girl. Ghost Girl will begin her chase phase one of 2 ways. The first way is by getting too close to her. If you step within 5 units of the Ghost Girl, whether you're looking at her or not, there is an 85% chance she will begin chasing you. If this chance doesn't hit, she'll simply vanish. The only other way for Ghost Girl to advance is by looking at her. Ghost Girl remembers how many times you've looked at her and how many times you've avoided looking at her. If you've looked at her at least 2 times, there will be an 85% chance she advances phases every time you look at her after that. If you've avoided looking at Ghost Girl 3 times, then just like before, there will be an 85% chance she advances phases every time you look at her after that. As long as she's on your screen, even if it's on the very edge of your screen, you are looking at her. It doesn't matter how long you look at her, even just a peek can trigger her to begin chasing. This means with the right combination, you can look at Ghost Girl on her 5th appearance and guarantee she will not chase. However, the best strategy is just to never look at her. When the Ghost Girl enters phase 2, she will behave the same way she behaves in phase phase 1, but she will begin chasing you the moment you look at her. If she loses line of sight of the player, she'll teleport to a closer node and continue chasing. She'll chase the player for 20 seconds, then disappear. If she comes into contact with the target, she will immediately kill them, decapitating them, then spin the wheel to find her next target. Keep in mind that once the ghost girl enters this phase, she is permanently in this phase, but like I said before, she will not chase you unless you look at her or you get too close. So let's say you look at the ghost girl on her 4th appearance and she begins chasing you. Now, anytime you look at her, she will chase you. This means that if you never look at the ghost girl, she will never enter phase 2, even if she has chased you before. If she does begin chasing you, you should drop all your items and sprint away. If you're walking, she'll catch up to you pretty quick, but if you're sprinting, you're much faster than her. If there's an exit nearby, you can take the exit, which will despawn her, allowing you to come right back in. Be sure to maintain your stamina when she's chasing you because she's pretty easy to sprint around, and more importantly, you can jump over her. The ghost girl can only spawn if you're indoors or inside the ship. If you're outside, she cannot spawn. So if you're being haunted and you want to be extra careful, it's a good idea to just stay outside and transfer loot. And remember that she will always spawn behind the target player, so if you have your back against a wall, that means she cannot spawn. As I said before, the ghost girl can only be seen by her target. However, she is visible to other players if she appears on the ship camera. The ghost girl will not show up on the ship monitor, and she cannot be scanned. She cannot be killed, and once she's haunting you, she will not stop until you're dead. But remember that if you never look at the ghost girl, she will never chase you. Also remember, War Thunder is free on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and you can sign up using my personal link in the pinned comment or video description, which includes a bunch of bonuses.